Hello, friends. My name is Charmaine, and here at To Which Isle, we talk about spirituality and mental health. And this is the first episode for December of 2023, which means the year is almost over. I only do 2 episodes a month. So, this is the second to the last episode of the year. And let me just say, I'm feeling a little way about it because well, let's just say that it's amazing what stacks up when you put in the effort and then just keep going, even when you don't feel like it. Because there's been many a days that I have not felt like it. So thank you for joining me. Today, I have just sort of some thoughts that I had lately that make a really great conversation. And it has to do with, just feeling drained all the time. Why do I feel drained all the time? I have like two reasons for this. And the first one I'm going to explain with a screenshot that I took on my Facebook, probably. Oh, wait, it actually says on there. I took the screenshot in 2021. Now, let me read you what the screenshot says. It's a series of a couple of things, so bear with me. My therapist told me that if I had to perform at my best all the time, then it wouldn't be my best. It would be my norm, and I need a moment to recover. Mm-hmm. Then it goes on. The Starship Enterprise is capable of traveling at warp 9.9, but it regularly travels at maybe warp 5 or thereabouts. Because if the Enterprise ran at 9.9 all of the time, then its engines would explode and kill everyone. You don't have to sprint. And I think about that, and I think about all the times that I pushed myself to multitask and do many, many different things at the same time. I think about all the times that I pushed myself to go harder because just doing the regular amount wasn't enough, that I wasn't worthy unless I did everything. And then I sat with that thought, why is that? Why would I try to run at that high rate all the time? Why did I try to make my best all of the time so it wasn't my best anymore as the norm? And then have people get mad at me when I can't do it anymore. It probably goes back to somewhere where I hooked up feeling love with doing X, Y, and Z. Behaviors behaviors I do to attain love from others. And that's all formed very, very young. I work really hard to change those thoughts of pushing, pushing, pushing until, exhaustion because there's no reason for it now. And I find that when I really ask myself the questions of why I'm doing something, I see that I'm just slipping into those old survival skills, what I learned to survive as I grew up. It wasn't whether it was right or wrong, it was just how I learned as a child to survive. Now, as I'm changing the thoughts that have me pushing myself all the time to the limits, I get frustrated. But comparatively, how long have I been changing thoughts versus how long have those thoughts existed? So this goes back to childhood, and my trauma started at age 5, so 5 years old. I didn't start working on therapy until 2010, and that was age 35. So the gap of difference there is 13 years I've been working on it versus 30 or so years of the survival mode that I learned to get in and work really well. Most people don't realize they're in survival mode. I did not realize I was in survival mode. I just thought I was really good at a lot of things. Multitasking isn't necessarily being good at a lot of things, but I thought it was because people valued it. If it was valued in my workplace, then it must be a good thing. Mm, I was sorely mistaken. So, anyway, that's a large gap of survival mode that I was in. And so it's going to take more than what I've done already to undo. Like right now, I'm still working on undoing some of that internal language I hold that makes me want to push myself to the limit. And it's going to be like that for a while because it took years to set this program into place. And that's all we're doing is undoing some programming. It's just really extensive because it's deep programming. Another reason for my personal drain is that I do tend to be more empathic. I have a lot of empathy, a lot of compassion for other people. I've also discovered that I am really good at helping other people process their problems. However, for a long time, I was in the process of pouring into other people's cups because they were empty. And I would pour from my cup and pour and pour and pour. And it was just recently brought up to me that you don't have to pour into other people's cups. In fact, you shouldn't pour into other people's cups. Spoons, I can see you having a limited supply. I can't see there ever being a drawer with enough spoons in it. I mean, if your drawer is like my kitchen. And that was survival mode for me. But now that I am not so much in survival mode, there's got to be a balance there. Well, the balance is no longer pouring into other people's cups. I don't need to pour into anybody else's cup now. Number one, I don't have children running around anymore that need my attention, need my focus. And with younger children, you tend to be pouring from your cup all of the time. However, I'm in a place now where there aren't children living with me anymore. My friend circle is pretty tight. And they know when to ask permission or whether or not I have the ability to listen or be there for them just to check to make sure I'm not struggling. And that is a wonderful thing to have within a friend group. So now instead of thinking of it as pouring from my cup into other people's cups, now every morning when I'm doing my morning yoga and any pose that has me curled up close to the fetal position. I take that opportunity to give my body a hug and talk to myself. And I voice whatever I talk to myself out loud to myself. Now, I'm not in a yoga group or anything like that. I do yoga on my own at home. After years having a teacher show me how to, I find myself even reminding myself to line my knees up properly so that I don't need surgery. Thank you, Kathleen, for teaching me that. During those poses that I am very close to myself, I give myself affirmations, but I also take that opportunity to breathe energy into my cup to make it so that my cup is essentially bottomless. And that instead of this cup holding my energy in it that I pour from, instead, my cup becomes a stationary prop and it overflows. I changed my thinking from pouring from my cup to an overflowing cup. If my cup is overflowing, then everybody that's around me can experience the overflow of what I have. And that's where I want to be. There are a lot of people that will come and visit and tell me that it is very peaceful here. And I think that is because of that change in thought that I had. And that is that I no longer have a cup that I pour from, that you catch the overflow of my cup. And my cup is bountiful. My cup manifests its own energy. And that has become a powerful place for me to be. I pump that into my aura. And then on top of it all, I thank myself for taking the time to really focus this kind of intention into my breathing and my thinking. The main thing that I ask myself when I get caught up in a feeling or I get caught up feeling stuck or stagnant, I ask myself what I can do today to move me closer to what I want for my future. What can I be doing that will prepare me for tomorrow to get ready for the things that I want in my future? What can I build on this month that will get me closer to where I want to be? I started off this year just wanting to accomplish every show that I intended to put out. And I didn't start a second segment until partway through the year. And even that one has grown so much and has now changed. I see the growth in what I've been doing and what I've been trying to share. And maybe you're looking more intentionally into the growth that you can put into your life. Sometimes just by making simple changes, like asking yourself a question every time you realize that maybe you've been sitting longer than you want to be. And remembering that it's okay to tell yourself, it's all right for a break. I deserve a break right now. Not pushing yourself all the time. You don't have to go at warp 9.9. Don't blow up your starship. Instead, take her down a few notches. We don't have to get everywhere so quickly. We don't have to stress out about everything so much. I hope this little discussion helped you. I know when I was thinking on it, it was really helping me move forward the way that I would like to move forward. And if you're struggling, and I mean really struggling to move forward, as in you are in a suicidal place or even just a place of crisis where you do not know what to do, sometimes getting outside advice from a stranger that has no stake in your life can be just what you need to get you started back on the path that you want to be. If you're struggling like that, please reach out. There is a hotline for that. It is called the National Crisis Hotline. Some call it the National Suicide Hotline, but it is for crises as well. You can reach them at 988, a very short number and easy to remember. 988. Call if you're struggling. And as always, take what resonates and leave the rest. And until next time, light and love, friends.